you are not gonna wanna miss this. I'm gonna show you how to adjust the saw travel so it's square to the fence on a radial arm saw. This applies to all radial arm saws, I think. The first thing I did was square up the blade. My first cut was cutting at an angle like this, and you can see that here. Okay, so then I squared up the blade, and I squared it up and moved it this way. But now I'm cutting perfectly square. And I used the big square along the blade without the blade guard on, so it's cutting square. Okay, so next I gotta check the saw travel, make sure it's square to the fence, and I did some test cuts here. You can see that it starts to cock off this way. So the table saw is cutting this way at this angle, so I have to adjust it this way. First thing I have to do is take off this plate. And these adjustments are for any radial arm saw. Just look at your manual or find your manual online, and you can find where these functions are on your radial arm saw. Okay, so caps off, and inside of mine I have 3 screws, one for 90 and those 2 on the side for 45s. So and you can adjust each one independently. But I would just want to, right now I'm just going to go with the 90. So I have to loosen that screw, and then there's a tapered plug in there that I have to loosen. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I loosened that center bolt right there. I actually took it out and put it back in just to look. But there's a tapered plug that that screw is attached to that goes through here into here. So I have to loosen that tapered plug, and by doing that, I just hit it with a block, hit that screw head with a block of wood, and that'll loosen the plug in there. And then you could turn this to make your adjustment to your fence of the saw travel here. Okay, so that's done. Next I have to loosen the clamp handle, so that's loosened, and now I can get my wrench on here, turn this, and then I can adjust it so it's 90. And I forgot there's a little set screw that you have to loosen here so you can turn this, because this is what turns the whole thing. Now I just have to retighten the set screw here. Retighten the bolt in here, and then make a test cut. Okay, I didn't bore you, but I made a whole bunch of test cuts so I got it dialed in. And it's very close to dialed in, and then I did the 5-cut test method on this piece right here. This was my cutoff, and I was within like 4 thous. This was by the fence. It's 1.39. Squeezing a little hard there. So we'll call it 1.14, and then when you're dealing with this much, doesn't really matter. And 1.175. So that's pretty close. It's pretty damn square. That's good enough for me, good enough for woodworking. If I want to mess with this more, I'd probably throw it off even more or something like that. So, but yeah, all these adjustments, they're on every single radial arm saw. Just find your manual and have fun. Peace.